is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And a pleasant good evening live from Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We're at 2nd Street at 104 Southwest 2nd Street for what we call as our Coaches Show. And we started this back in week 0, if you can remember that far back, way back in August, Michelle, believe it or not. And I've done my duty. I said to many people that have not been here before looking for recommendations, and I said I was planning to wear out the menu, which I did.
Yes.
And I told on myself, I said the only category I did not do that I could recommend is salads. And I said, seeing my structure, I'm not a salad kind of a guy, but I know a salad with something is fine, but I couldn't give any of those. But nonetheless, we're pleasure to be here, and I'm glad that many of you can join us. The Macarthur faithful has come out in a big way, which I knew they would, with our 5 regular teams that were here. Unfortunately, their seasons came to an end, and the Macarthur Highlanders go on with a big district win. We'll talk about that on this past Friday. But first things first, our host, Michelle, we've been talking about Halloween, and we had all those events, and now it's getting a little bit cooler, and I know people are still using the back patio and the lawn area, and we've got the fire pits lit too.
Yes, so now the evenings are getting cool, so sitting at that fire pit is really nice. It's been working really good, so come on out, enjoy it. And then we have cornhole tournaments every Thursday as well, so we're doing that.
Cornhole tournaments,
and then we're starting up some single and trivia nights. So right now on Wednesday nights we're doing either single or trivia nights.
Okay, and you got games for the kids. You've also, they're pulling them out right now, and in the back, in the daytime area, you got Plinko, you've also got cornhole, you got Connect 4, so this is an experience. If you've not experienced it before, some people coming here for the very first time, we encourage you to do so. Great barbecue you make in-house. Habanero links are still my favorite, and you also say you can get it sliced or you can get the full link now, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Takeouts, we're doing that. Don't forget Monday Night Football. You can get Sunday, the Sunday ticket here if you want to watch one of your favorite teams. And then Friday nights you can watch high school football here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. So we're going to take a break and time out. We're going to talk to Coach Manning here coming up. And we got offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. We got players in the house and the full Macarthur entourage, as I call them. And they all kind of come when it's big deals like this. We'll take a time out and be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Well, it should give you a little taste of what to look forward to on Friday. Of 13 schools on the network, we have 8 that are continuing on with playoffs. It's the third part of a season, so to speak. You've got your non-district game, and, of course, you got your full district. And then from then on, it gets really special when you have the 32 teams cut in half to 16, then to 8 to 4 to 2, and just like that in a 4-week time frame. And that's what we hope that we're going to take along for that kind of ride, remembering 2014. Coach Manning, we're going to have the highlight video of this past matchup, but I don't even know if you could properly break this game down, because there are so many side comments about, fumbles, turnovers, execution by your quarterback. I mean, things that, were just, it all culminated into what a great night. And I know some coaches say on all phases of the ball, and you get a kickoff return, to add that. You get turnovers from your defense, offense. How could you even really, when you broke it down yourself, out of the emotions of the game, what did you come away with Friday night?
Well, we did what we needed to do, and our kids played really hard. They played with a lot of confidence, and, we come out and we don't have a very good first quarter offensively. Had a couple of turnovers, but this team doesn't get down. They just fight back, and it was our best defensive game we've played all year. Offensively, we were able to run the ball and move the ball against a really good defense. People don't understand how good McGinnis's defensive line and defensive front is, especially. And then, the big special teams play. So it was a complete game. I was so proud of our kids for how hard they played.
One of the things I was going to ask about, what do you talk to a team at half? You had a first good half, and I always say it's always the nature of two halves. What you see in the first half may not be what you get in the second half, because there's adjustments done on both sides. They're in the locker room, and that's what we saw, because you're going in with the lead that you had. They came out, took the initial drive and scored, and you said, okay, now what are we into? What did you tell the team at the half what their focus was going to be?
Well, we were up 21-7. We had our 10 points 10 points covered at that point, but we kind of gave them a little warning that we had the lead last year at halftime too.
Okay.
And we came out in the third quarter. They hit us with an onside kick, and then we had a couple turnovers, and then they end up beating us by 10 points or so. So just kind of a little warning that, yes, we did play a really good first half, but there's still a lot of football left to play. We can't just sit back and be happy about it. We've got to go play like the score is tied again and try to keep those 10 points.
Well, a couple of things that we noticed as a team, you talked about this team not giving up, and I think really that showed in the Ponca City game. I think, it's a game that really, technically didn't really matter. It was a non-district game. It was kind of like kids could say, okay, well, we lose this one, we'll have our week off and then get into district play. But being down 3 touchdowns, don't you think kind of helped them in this way, the maturity level that doesn't matter what the score is, we're going to play 4 quarters and we're going to take it to the end?
I think so, and that showed a lot about their character during that game, but I think it also proved to them that you just keep playing. Things don't go your way for a while. Eventually, if you keep doing things right, they're going to go your way. And, just keep fighting and anything can happen. So I think that was a very valuable lesson that we learned, a good lesson that we learned from our Ponca City game.
I know that we're going to talk a breakdown of Noble, and that's going to be the first opponent there, and what that looks like. And I want to be able to break down, and I'm going to let you call. We've got 4 plays on both sides of the ball, and we're going to do one section. Then we got players to talk to, we got coordinators to talk to. Going to make it the full Macarthur coaches show that it is. Which one do you want to start with, offense or defense for clips?
It doesn't matter. Just pick one.
Okay. So all right. Okay. Well, we're going to go right here, and I think these are defensive plays. So. It's 21-7 here, and I think it's like 47 seconds left to go, and it takes a little second or two to get this up. So, it's a sack. Right here.
It's a sack. That was a play right before halftime, and we got as much pressure on McGinnis's quarterback as anybody done all year long. He had a really good year being able to scramble around, keep his eyes downfield, hit receivers, and we didn't allow him to do that. We had a slant on right there. We were slanting to the field, to the strong side, it looks like. And, Sean comes underneath and is able to make a play, get that quarterback trying to scramble, but in Sean's angle, it didn't allow him to scramble very much.
Do you think that they were surprised at the amount? I mean, because they had a big offensive line. I mean, we talked about that. Do you think they were surprised that we were being able to create that much pressure in a game like this?
I think so, because nobody's really done that to them all year long.
Right.
And I said all last week that there were two evenly matched teams. I don't know that they thought that. They were 9-0. I think they probably thought they were better than we were. But we put pressure on the quarterback and had so many tackles for loss. Also, we had 6 sacks, and I should have counted up the tackles for loss, but it was a lot.
Okay, play number 2 here defensively. Let's kind of give this a look here.
This a big play. This was when they had kind of had a drive going there in the second quarter. We've got what we call stretch coverage with our middle linebacker buzzed out a little bit. So Gunnar Tate's out there a little wider than he normally would be, and he did that technique perfect. He's supposed, if he reads pass, he's supposed to expand out into that hook to curl area, which was where they were trying to throw it. They were trying to throw an RPO, and he's able to get out there and.
Well, I'm going to get to see this again as we're reviewing it. That's a one-handed snag, too.
Yeah, he barely got there. He got his one hand out there and pulled it in. Very, very athletic play by him.
Yeah, it's great. And I was kind of poking a little fun with him because I knew him enough to do that, is that you put him in at quarterback for one play because Avon goes out with I don't know how that goes to, you just immediately got to make a decision like that. I thought that was really interesting, and I said, what did you think about that? He said, well, I had no idea what I was going to do. I said, well, I knew that their plan was you didn't have to worry about it.
Right, yeah.
But, I mean, he punts the ball, he's linebacker, he's making an interception, and, oh, by the way, we need someone to fill in as a quarterback. We're going to sit you right there.
Well, he's just a veteran guy that we all trust.
All right, so let's go on to our next play here. I think this is another defensive play. I think we got 4 for each side of the ball, so a little bit longer to kind of set these up. These clips are full-length clips, so. This is going to be a fumble here.
This is the strip by Adam. He did a really good job all night. That's the only one he got. But, the scary thing about trying for the strip is sometimes you miss tackles when that happens. But
I saw both were doing that. Both teams were doing that a lot.
So we kind of had the running back secured with another player. Adam had him a little bit, and he comes in with his left hand and really jerks at that ball, and it falls right there. Q's able to jump on it. Big play in the fourth quarter. And
we're on the visiting side, doing the broadcast, so I really couldn't see that. I didn't even know if he was going to be down. I mean, because the pile was starting to go down, was his knee down, but the strip and then the recovery was just at the right time for sure.
He was clearly up.
Yeah, you can see this one last time here as this come there. There's the ball's out. Little double-A action there doing that. So, okay, let's get on to our fourth play here on the defensive side of the ball.
This is the one that seals the game. We, we're not in a prevent necessarily, but we're playing back a little bit. So, we're letting them have some of the underneath stuff and rallying to it, and their running back, makes a mistake and doesn't catch the ball. It pops off of him, and Juju Watson's right there to dive for the interception, sealing the win and sealing our district championship.
Now, how nervous does one feel, like in this, where they're at in the field right here, they score a touchdown, they take away the 10, and we win the game, but we're third-place finishers there.
Well, I thought if they could get into field goal range, they'd try to kick the field goal, because if they won by 11, if we won by 11, it would give them second place.
Okay.
I felt like a field goal try was coming soon.
Right.
But, it didn't get to that, which, a field goal wouldn't have hurt us. We would have still won by our 10 and still be district champions. So.
Yeah, you see that one young man put his head. It's like it tipped away, and there again, and just from our vantage point, was really kind of hard to call a game because I wasn't on the 50-yard line like normal. I was off to the 30 on the other side, and was Larry Hatch and I were talking. We saw the ball, we saw the deflection, and then we see a player dive, and that's all I see. And I said, I don't know if I call it incomplete. Is it a catch or is it a turnover? And then 3 of our guys are jumping up and saying it's going. And I said, wow, okay. So it worked out that way. But nonetheless, it was pretty good. So.
Yeah, exciting.
All right, well, we got some more exciting things to do. We're going to do a recap. In case you didn't watch it on our social media, we're going to recap all the highlights of that game when we come back. We're going to have offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and we got players in the house. And then we're going to have Coach at the end of this broadcast talk about the matchup with Noble. And we'll do that right after this timeout as the Coaches Show continues here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Pleasant good evening live from Bishop McGinnis High School, downtown Oklahoma City. And this is a site of a great Week 10 battle as we close out the regular season with a very, very important statement. Here comes Quentin Mass. Dover's over one hurdle to the edge, over to the 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 10-5, touchdown, Macarthur! Rolling on the other side to throw to Josh Russell. Makes one man miss. And that's going to be picked off by Quentin Mass, and he is going to get the interception. Motion up the top. Fake to Connor, and then Lachlan off to the races. He will score. Touchdown, Macarthur! Back to pass, under some pressure. Flush on the pocket, and it's going to be taken down for a sack. Fake handoff to Claiborne. Claiborne locks it off to the races. 50, 10, 5, touchdown, Macarthur! Bounces it outside the corner. Got one-on-one, stiff arms one guy. Spin move, still on his feet. Can you get a big sack? Yeah! There's the sack that you needed. Back at the 40-yard line. Fake handoff. Aiden Lachlan with the carry. Quarterback gets a block to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Macarthur! Back to work, back to pass. Going to rifle that one. Oh, yeah. It is picked off. He loads and throws. There's the sack right there. It's over. The Macarthur Highlanders storm the field, and that's going to be it. The Macarthur Highlanders are district champions. District champions, that's right. When it come into a season like this, to have all of what we see transpire, you lose at Newcastle. You come into a game that is a team that's got 9-0. It's their senior night on their home turf. They knew from the year previous they had beaten the Macarthur Highlanders. I don't think that was just overconfidence. It was just Macarthur played a really great game. And, of course, they knew what they had to do. Both teams knew the points. So Macarthur had to come in, get the win by 10 to win the district, and then hold on to that. And then, unfortunately, for Bishop McGuinness, they finished third because it was a three-way tie with points. And so Newcastle gets second, and Bishop McGuinness has to travel up to Guthrie. So we got big star here, because I was telling you earlier, and I don't know if the kids had seen it, and I said, I know it's in your little lockbox, but I said, you know what, you're going to have to bring out some bling for them to understand that this next week's hard work can get you one of these. And Walter Neal joins us, defensive coordinator for the co-defensive coordinator for the Macarthur Highlanders. Breaking down that film, I mean, outside of the accolades of the turnovers and the intensity and the quarterback pressure, these guys must have graded out well on film when you got there Saturday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot of plays being made, so I'm proud of these guys. So talk us a little bit about, do you think Bishop McGuinness wasn't expecting the pressure that you were going to get? I mean, as Coach said earlier, they didn't get it all year long. Yes, and that offensive line is, pretty big. I mean, when you go right up and down the scale of it, they certainly could hold their own. But the way you designed it, the way you had it, it almost looked like they were reeling and they didn't know what to do. I mean, it's kind of like, we can't make any adjustments on the fly. This is our game plan. But how well did you execute all of this, to get where you did against them? Yes, sir. I believe we did exactly what we knew we could do all season long. I just believe that our guys showed up ready to play, and they executed the play calls. And in result, we made a lot of plays. I think Bishop McGuinness did their best. We showed up, did our best, and the Cards just played out. They did.
So, you talk about this game coming up, and we'll have Coach's comments about what he thinks about, but, you've had a chance to break down Noble. That's the opponent that's coming back to our house, and literally our house. You're going to play this at the Hill. This is going to be the third time this year. So we had you had homecoming, you had senior night, and now we have at the Hill the first playoff game ever at Macarthur High School. I can't wait for that. But what have you seen on Noble breaking down with them? What do we have to do for a win on Friday?
Just like every other playoff team, well-structured team. They have good players all around, great schemes offensively and defensively for them, and we have to be prepared. We have to prepare just like we did last week in order to execute.
The experience you had at the high school level, going to a state championship game, then on to college, what best can you do to convey to these players from your experience level that you can pass on to them?
I would just say understanding that this short period of time won't last forever. And to just take advantage of it. And like me and Poochki tell them all the time, high school is some of the best experiences.
Yeah.
Like college was fun. You get big wins there, but nothing is like high school.
Do I need to remind you of when you won that? How many years ago was that?
Yeah, that was about 10,
do you know?
wasn't
It was 10. Do you know how old they were?
How old?
Well, I mean, if they're 15, they were like 5. It's like, we're old school. That when we talk about those memories of, they have to see it on film. And when Jamal Brown came, I said, oh, man, you and I are really ancient with these kids. He says, well, my wife had to send a tape, a tape of my highlights of what I did, because they said, well, what kind of player were you? Have you whipped out the, kind of the Walter Neal especially in the special team stuff? You need to see it.
I haven't.
A quick review of 2014. Week number 1 was against Carl Albert. And the reason we beat Carl Albert was why? Go ahead and tell us.
No, it wasn't. I don't know. A team win. It was a team.
Okay. No, it was a block extra point, which made and at that time Carl Albert wasn't. They kind of had the ebb and flows, but Coach had to come say you beat a tremendous playoff team right there. And then you go to Collinsville and then Macarthur, and that was they just need to watch the Macarthur game. It was kind of reminiscent of what we had with Bishop McGuinness. We got a couple of players with you. Grab the mic, and Mr. Sean Hughes, exciting. The sacks that you got, do you think, as I talked with Coach Neal here, is were they surprised that you were bringing that kind of pressure and able to execute it? Because, they had maintained that, that front. And Coach Larry Hatch basically said, this is going to have to be one in the trenches, because we thought very physical, and you guys were all over the field. So what was it? What was the ingredients for the massive, great Friday night alternative?
Basically, it kind of came down to who wanted it more, me or the other dude, and I wanted to make plays more.
Well, I said that kind of on the broadcast. I said for both teams, especially after halftime when you're up 21-7, and what did Coach say in the locker room to make sure you maintain that? Because immediately they came out, they took the opening drive, they got the score, and now it's 21-14. It's not 21-7 anymore, and we got to get to work. So what did he say at halftime, and what did you guys do to make sure you continued on that for the second half?
We made sure to stay on the throttle. Last year we was up at halftime and we blew the lead in halftime or in the second half and they won. So we made sure to do whatever we can to stay up.
Yeah, I mean, I had not remembered that. Coach mentioned that. He mentioned to you guys about hey, it's always nature of two halves. Whatever you see in the first half, you can throw out kind of because they'll make adjustments, you'll make adjustments, and you guys can come out flat, so to speak. Do you think there is any indication that you guys gained the confidence earlier in the season? I keep going back to that Ponca City game, and the reason I did is you guys were down 3 scores. You were down 3 touchdowns, and you thought, well, for most part in high school games, you pack it up and you say, okay, well, we'll worry about next week. This is a 6A team. What did that Ponca City game do for you guys and your confidence going forward?
Basically, it kind of allowed us to trust each other, to allow everyone to trust that they're going to do their part, and once again, come down to who wanted to win more.
What was your most exciting moment this year out of all the games? What exciting moment? And I'll get to your play here in a second.
I'd say getting 3 sacks and being district champs.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's a great moment. Okay, what would you say was your best game this season that you came off the field and said, man, I spent it, I gave it my all, this was it? McGinnis again. Well, it's hard to argue that, and stuff like that. And then what are you guys prepping up for the Noble Bears as they come to town?
You can't ever take any team lightly, even though they're the 4th seed. Anything can happen. So, we got to try our best, work hard, and treat them just like they're any other team.
What's it like? You already had 2 momentous events there on the Hill. Okay, you had homecoming and you had senior night. Now you got the first ever playoff game to be played there.
Yeah.
We talked about this before. Wow, this is the last time we're going to play on this field. Little we know, I just assumed we were going to go back to Cameron, and all of a sudden they made it back there. How special it is to play on this field for the 3rd time this year.
It feels awesome making history, being the first team to ever have a playoff game at a home field in Lawton. So it feels great.
Very good. All right, you got a guy next to you, quarterback Gunnar Tate.
I guess sometimes.
Okay, I guess one time, and when called upon, were you surprised when they said get out there and play QB?
I was pointing to myself on the sideline. I didn't expect Coach Pushki to say get out there.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, what if he said pass play, go route, deep?
I'm throwing it up to Josh.
That's good. J2 is always going to bail you out. We'll get back to the defensive thing. Okay, now, be honest now. The one-handed snag interception, were your eyes open or closed when that happened?
They were open.
They were open. Okay. So kind of take us through that play. A lot of times guys will say that the game kind of slowed down in slow motion. Now, we can see that in slow motion. Did that pass and that one-handed thing, did that kind of slow down for you, or was it really quick and over and like that?
Oh, it was really fast. I expected the bubble from the running back. I played out and was just in the right spot at the right time. Well,
your buddy here, Sean Hughes, we talked about what they were kind of surprised at. Did you kind of look at these players' eyes to kind of thought that, I don't know how you guys are doing what you're doing to us, but we're a 9-0 team, and you shouldn't be doing what you're doing? Were they kind of caught off guard? You think the whole game, I thought, was kind of flat for them, and I really couldn't figure out how they couldn't regain that. But it was kind of like they were grasping for some kind of straws there. I mean, do you think our defense really kind of took them by surprise?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that out of us.
What was your exciting, is it going to be the same, twofold, exciting best moment of the year? Any game, any of these years of the moments?
The interception, and then, of course, being district champs.
Yeah, district champ. Okay, and then what would you say was your best game? Could be any.
Oh, it was Bishop McGinnis.
It was. No, everybody can't have their best game with this, because you still got, you should say my best game is yet to come, Okay, so senior, how has this year been? I know coaches will always say take it in every moment. They come so fast. They go so fast. Regular season's over. Playoffs will, just right around the corner is going to be a finality to it. But are you kind of taking in those moments to take this all in for your senior year?
Yeah, at first, I missed a couple games, and then next thing I know, we're in the playoffs. It all went by so fast.
Yeah, I know. And we were wishing you the best of luck. You went out for a couple weeks and able to come back, and you've done well with that. And so getting ready for Noble, what have they broke down as far as film study that you got to be prepared for Friday?
just like every team, we can't overlook them. We just got to be fundamentally sound and do our jobs and trust each other.
Okay, that's your defense, and Walter, appreciate you
Yes,
coming
sir.
back. Now remember, his homework assignment was to clean the dust off, get the ring out, and let them. I know it's not something you wear every day, but they kind of need to see it, so it kind of give you that little bit of emotional push.
Yes, sir. I'll bring it out this week.
Okay, all right. So we'll be back, and of course we've got the offense to talk about. We'll break that down. We got coaches' comments, some more players in the house as well, and we'll do that right after this timeout on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Yeah, as we said, 8 teams on the Oklahoma Sports Network that are playing the next week. It's called playoffs. Of the 13 teams, 8 are in, and you can catch that on the Oklahoma Sports Network on Friday. Welcome back to the Coaches Show here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, 104 Southwest 2nd Street. If you've not been here, great experience, great food. We loaded it up. The whole Macarthur family's here, and then some. We got even some outside, so we couldn't fit them all in for today's broadcast. Michael Puschke, offensive coordinator for the Macarthur Highlanders. How can you put, as a player and a coach, a win like this? Because, I mean, this is a decisive win over an opponent in quite some time. I mean, we've had some great wins, but this ranks up into, okay, this was not just a win, but this was a quality win against a quality opponent.
Yeah, I mean, it says it's all on the players. You know, the off-season, the summer workouts, the training that they do coming up to the field and working every single day this summer. You know, it's just accumulation of all that to build up to this. And we knew that was in this group. Like, we knew it. And I felt like Friday night, you know, I just keep saying I felt like everybody just played how they should have played.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to watch.
Well, because usually there's a breakdown somewhere, you know, oh, is someone missing an assignment? Or even when coaches will talk about 3 phases, you know, I mean, offense, defense, and special teams, you know, you get a kickoff return, which we've seen, by the way.
Yep.
Number one's done that before. That wasn't his first time. And so, you know, you get that, and then, you know, you're clicking on all cylinders. What did you think pressure-wise for offense was when they came out after half? You're up 21-7. Now it's 21-14, and you and I spoke. I said, forget this 9 and 10. You're going to have to win by 2 scores. So what was in your mindset of getting it going here in that second half?
Yeah, that's what I can't remember who I was talking to afterwards. I said it was kind of weird. We were up 14, but, like, I wasn't comfortable. And,
right.
You know, there was only a minute because we had to win by 10. But, no, you know, they came back and scored. But the way our defense was playing, I said, you know what, if we just keep scoring, we're going to stay 1 ahead. And so I trusted our defense, and we were able to stay 14 up.
What's your most proudest moment of this year from this crew? I mean, you guys, you know, when we'll get Abe and Lachlan here, your quarterback, these 3 right here, we'll call them the triplets. You know, Dallas Cowboys, old school, Jimmy. when I say the Dallas Cowboys, and I got to say this story because they used to feed the players before the season, and the speaker was here and he was up there, and this was a couple years ago, and he was talking about the big gem years that I'm not trying to put the Dallas Cowboys down, but talking about the Dallas Cowboys and all the Super Bowls they won, and I after he got done speaking, I said, none of these kids have a clue of what they were talking about because they don't know those glory years. They don't even know the triplets, but we used it there. But with those three, having a nucleus of these guys that started as sophomores, were seniors, how much did that really buy into the success of this season?
Oh, it's huge. And, I was telling somebody just a minute ago, it was about halfway through this season, I think week 4 or 5, and I thought to myself, slow down. Slow down, enjoy this, because this group is special. Obviously, have a really good connection with this senior class, and you just don't want to sit there and go, okay, next week, because eventually there's not a next week. And so, I just try to enjoy every single day, every minute next day that we get with these dudes. So I hope it's 3 more weeks.
Now, both of these gentlemen that are here are playing both sides of the ball, and that's the first time this year. And I already told Jay, too, I said, listen, colleges may use you, and don't be surprised if they switch you. Your defensive stuff, some of the hits that you've had, interceptions, not that you can't catch the ball and a great offensive guy. Did you know you had it in you to be a great defender as well as an offensive guy?
Yes. I'm real physical, so
okay.
I love defense.
Well, you know what? It's kind of like, I wish we would have done this 3 years ago, don't you? I mean, we should have. I know it tires you out. And Coach, were you worried about them both? I know you got a breather every now and then. I know they're well-conditioned, but still, and other teams do it. You got to, you play the guys that are in those best positions. But were you a little concerned as being the OC that, they were going to have to share some time?
Not one bit. And because I wasn't concerned, because if you come watch Summer Pride, if you come watch our conditioning at the end of the day, these two in front. I mean, they've worked their body to this point so they can play 162 snaps a game.
Yeah. Okay. I talked to Walter Neal about same thing. You were at this high school with great tradition. Went to a state title game. You went on to college. How best do you think you can convey what you've learned to pass on to them at their age now?
Man, the main part is enjoy right now. You're going to have a lot of fun years to come. A lot of big experience playing in big-time stadiums, big-time games. But there's nothing more that you will get enjoyment out of than high school football. The closeness of the team, your bonds that you make here, you're going to remember forever. And so that's what I try to instill to them. Hey, enjoy where you're at right now. The next step is really cool and it's really fun too, but enjoy this moment right now.
How cool is it to be back on the hill for the third time this year?
It's going to be awesome. Again, like we've talked about, 15, 20 years ago, you would have never thought that we'd be playing a game, let alone a home playoff game at Macarthur High School. It's going to be really exciting. I hope everybody in Lawton comes out, packs it out, people standing around the fences. I know me and you talked about that small town feel, so it's going to be really fun.
Well, and Jamal Brown, one of our guests there when he was here, came up in the booth and talked a little bit about how he was trying to take in he was in a press box, where it was just, it wasn't artificial turf, it was natural
grass,
and grass, and that was different. And he says, man, we're actually playing games here. It's kind of like to take it all in. Okay, break down a little bit of the Noble Bears. What do they bring? They're in the district where Lawton High, Carl Albert, Altus, Guthrie is, and so we kind of have a little bit of familiarity. They were also in our district not too long ago, so they are not completely foreign, not like Bishop McGuinness was. Bishop McGuinness, you only heard about them. Guthrie, and those teams we don't really know much about. Noble, we do a little bit, so what did you know about the Noble Bears and what we have to get ready for Friday?
Always well coached. Usually have, some athletes that throw it around. Defensively, they'll kind of disguise some stuff, various defenses. They've been in the 3-3. They've shown the 3-4. Their secondary, one of the things that really stood out to me on film as I'm breaking down is their secondary really flies to the ball. If the pass is in the air, all 5 DBs are going to the ball. If it's a run, all 5 DBs are downhill. That's what keep telling the receivers this week watching film, make sure we secure the catch, but, catch, tuck that ball away and get upfield.
Okay, we got a couple of players, and they do play both sides of the ball, so it's like that. We'll stay with J2. We'll get you still J2, right? I'm okay with that. Okay. You guys gave me the nicknames. I didn't have to make these up, but, so it's What has this senior season been like for you so far?
It's been great. It's like this is what I dreamed about whenever I was a freshman and sophomore, coming in, being a senior leader, being a captain, winning district. I mean, can't ask for much more. Now we just got to go get state.
Well, I mean, it's something that, I know, and how it came about, I know the seniors selected it. You guys always have a motto coming into a year, and this year's motto, in case you didn't know, it was get back. And it was get back to what Macarthur was used to. So Coach Pushki and I knew what that meant. It knew that for the most part, when Macarthur would start a season, you could basically say, if they didn't make a semifinal appearance, it would be a bust of a year. I mean, because that was the expectations, and then you continue to do that. So then after that little bit of a lull there, the get back, how did that come together to make that a motto, and how did you guys buy into it so much?
Because we were tired of losing. Short answer, but we're tired of losing, so we got to get back.
Well, and you get it. You had a quality win that you had to get because, you stubbed your toe on Newcastle. I know both you and Double A were out for a little bit, and you kind of next man up. And, Gabriel got, 2 touchdowns in the positions that you guys were in, a nice stretch-out catch. So, that happened, but we didn't get the win there. But, that losing thing does have a sting. And I'll tell you that I got a group that I talk with regularly that's at Guthrie, and I told them ahead of time, and I told Coach Pushki this. I said, whatever we do, I do not want to go back to Guthrie. I said, that's kind of like Groundhog Day, the old movie with Bill Murray where it was just the same thing over and over again. I said, I don't want to go there. I said, so let's make that happen. And so to get a first or second, I was happy with. To get a first is awesome. But what was the best moment of this year that you can take away that you are the most proud of?
I'd say the Bishop McGinnis game. We came together as a team, got the dub, and we all played great. As Coach Pushki said, I'm sure Coach Neal said the same thing. And you can't really ask for anything more than that, just for a team to play good together and just as a brotherhood.
Well, we're so old school, and our videographer was there, and at the end you came and showed to the camera, and we put that in a highlight video, and you say, hey, you come over here. Yeah. What does that mean, please? Could you tell me what that is?
I don't know if you've seen
that dub.
Okay. All right.
You haven't seen the Jameis Winston?
Jameis Winston.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, I mean, sometimes you miss this stuff. I'm educated because your generation has its own language, right? So if I say 6'7", by the way, 6'7" means nothing. So if you think it means something, it doesn't mean anything. So I don't even know how that got started, but you guys have your own language and you guys talk it. But what was your best game as a player? This year?
This year?
I'd
say Law and High game I played pretty well.
Everybody was taking Bishop McGinnis. I said it was good. What would you say is your best game, your career here of 3 years?
I don't know. There's a lot of them. I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Okay. And the other thing I've asked other guys that have played both ways, do you have a favorite of playing offense or defense? And if so, why?
No, I don't.
Pushki can close his ears. Okay, all right.
Offensively, I like to score touchdowns.
Right. Defensive, you like to give a hit?
Yeah, I just like to hit.
Do you think it's better, because you've received a lot of hits as a receiver. I think it's better to give than receive, right?
I think I gave some as a receiver, too.
Oh, did you? Okay, all right.
I'll kind of help them out. It's the motto that I kind of always – be where your feet are. I tell the kids that all the time. Be where your feet are. If you're in school, be in school. Go to practice. He's where his feet are. If he's on defense, he loves defense. If he's on offense, he loves offense.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's wherever he is. Okay, let's go down to Double A over here. What is these are self-professed nicknames that you guys gave me in the beginning of the year, and I appreciate that. Boy, it seems like just yesterday that you guys started this off when we did the football preview show, and you guys were our guests, and I said, wow. Thinking back at that time, I said, get ready for a senior season because it's in a blink of an eye it's going to go. Has it gone that fast for you?
Yeah, it's definitely went really fast.
What would you say, what was the remedy for offense and defense playing so well on Friday night?
I would just say a lot of hard work. We had great preparation going into the week, and we just felt like we could go out there and win.
You always want to be playing your best ball at the end of the season, and you guys are really starting to put something special together. And so what's the game plan for Friday? What have you seen on Noble that you guys have to contain that and keep this thing going?
I would say we just got to make sure we don't let them get any explosives. And, they're a good group of guys, very athletic, and Let's go win.
No, I didn't ask Jay, too, because he already had his Tulsa gloves, so I already kind of knew nothing had switched with that. Because after, he was making the highlights, and I said, oh, okay. I said, he's representing. I know that your thing has changed a little bit, your commitment with the coach leaving, and then you had opened up, and Coach says you have a lot of offers. And I'm not asking for a hat display here or any confirmation, but tell us. We can do it right here, breaking news. Now, you can tell us what schools are talking to you and what kind of conversations has that been?
It's really just between two schools, TCU and Boise State.
Okay.
So.
All right. So you got those two. Okay, I'm going to ask you on the flip side. This is the first year you've played both sides of the ball. You coming from the defensive side to offense, how has that adjustment been for you?
It's been good. I practiced offense since I was a freshman. So,
okay.
Coach Pushki welcomed me with open arms. He's been telling me to play offense the last 2 years. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he say that, we don't want you to have hands of a linebacker, though, you know what I mean? Because the thing is, we want you to have good hands. Because usually they say, oh, that's why that guy's on defense, because he can't catch.
I catch picks.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
No, I understand.
He's got great. Y'all have the
yes.
angle that y'all have of his pick in Newcastle was really cool.
Oh, that one-handed one? Yeah, that was special. That's going to last. And I know that some people didn't like the one-handed catch that we had to over and over again. And I won't bring up about the team. And they said, we need to take that off. And I said, to a previous coach, I said, you give me a play that I can use forever, and I'll do it. That play is going to be used for the next 5 years. I say, who is that with that one-handed catch? So, yeah, that was special. Any special moment for this year that was special to you about a game and experience? If so, what would that be?
I would definitely say the Bishop McGinnis game.
It's hard to deny. I mean, it's kind of like the 2014 team. We're going to say Macarthur. And I say, you're going to say winning a state championship, but I'm telling you, the Macarthur game can't be beat. Yeah. And that was just a semifinal game. And so all the Macarthur folklore understand what I'm talking about. And then you personally, what was your best game that you came off the field and you said, man, I gave it my best. I spent it all, and that was what you got, the best of me?
Like of my career or this year?
No, this year.
This year, I would say the Ponca City game.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're bringing up that Ponca City game. How about career-wise? Anything special that stands out? J2's got so many of them. He said he has to get back with
this guy's
me.
just a baller. He just makes plays every week.
See how long he's taking? That's why I said that.
Yeah, okay. No, so how you guys connect off the field too. Mm-hmm. So talk about how that elates to the football field, that you guys are such close, you're good connections, you guys do a lot of stuff together off the field. How does that translate of the success on the field?
Yeah, I just know I can go to my guy and we can just work hard together. And anytime I'm not giving him all, he's going to let me know I'm not giving him all. And when he's not giving his all, I'm going to let him know he's not giving his all.
Okay. Good stuff, and good luck to you guys. And then I've asked so many people, and so we'll end out with you about what's it like to play at Macarthur one last time. You had it twice, and you thought, okay, this is going to be it, guys. You're going to get homecoming, and you're going to get senior night, but a playoff game at home, how cool is that?
It's great. I've been on the east side my whole life, so seeing what the field has come to is just crazy, and seeing that we get to play games is surreal.
Pack the stands there up on the hill, and so we're looking forward to that. Okay, we got Coach Manning. We also got our quarterback, Avon Lachlan, to talk to as well. I want to thank Coach Pushki, offensive coordinator for the Macarthur Highlanders. We'll take a timeout and be back to Southwest Oklahoma Brewery for our Coaches Show right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Arvest Bank, we believe home ownership makes families and communities stronger. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we're here to help put home ownership within reach. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe.
All right, 8 teams in the playoffs this Friday, and one of them is the Macarthur Highlanders. Welcome into the Macarthur Coaches Show here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We've been here since August, Coach. And I've had the whole conversations throughout this year, and And special times, special moments, and you can hear by the players' reflection how special that Bishop McGuinness game was. I'm not going to equate it to the Macalester game, but I'm just saying for them, it was one of those things that they'll never forget.
Yeah, so. And it was truly our get-back game. I mean, we had one game to make ourselves district champions. Had to go up against a really good team on the road and beat them by 10.
Right.
And, we were able to get it done. It's a very, very special night.
Well, and you think about that, that's a tall order. When you
is.
say, okay, if it was within 3, you know what I mean, or 4 points, you say a touchdown does it. But when you say 2 scores against that kind of a quality opponent.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got a senior next to you. He started as a sophomore. Avon Lachlan, just talk about how special it was to have him for 3 years in that moment.
When you have a game like that, to be able to rely on somebody that you trust is very important. And obviously, Avon has built that trust up with me and all of our coaching staff. And, we give him a lot of freedom in our offense. And, most of his touchdowns were just keeping the ball because we told him if you think you can, do it. And there wasn't really even a called play.
Okay, so you dispelled it because I was going to ask you. I wasn't going to put you on the spot, but I said, where did that come from? And I said, and I know that he had that freedom before, and we've not seen it a lot. We knew as a sophomore he could run. He did it as a junior year, but didn't really rely on it. Say, this is a quarterback that's going to primarily run and then pass, or then is he going to look to do those things? So I said, what makes that game so different? I said, was it called like that? Because, it was some of the fakes in there was so bad. It was a well-done fake, but I'm just so bad for the defense to suck right into it. I know he had 4 touchdowns. That one, there was nobody on that side. So it's like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
so
he was 4 or 5 yards downfield before anybody on their team knew that he had the ball.
You got a bad peanut gallery, Avon. I've been watching what they're doing. They're sending you kind of different vibes, but you're a quarterback. You can take that. It's like they're trying to trip you up, though. So what's it like to be a 3-year starter in this program and to lead like you did? And then take us through. If Coach says if you can see it, does that mean you see it every single time? You scored 4 times. How many times did you actually see it, or did you kind of say, I kind of see it, and I'm going to take it?
There's a couple of times I just seen, for my running back that the gap was a little clogged up, so I was anything not to get him killed. And then some of them, it was just wide open. I would see their invert go straight to the run, and I would just take off.
Well, you don't expect a quarterback to, run the – how many yards did you have? Do you know? 210. Yeah, but who's counting, right? 210 yards, 4 touchdowns. Oh, wonder you were cramping up. At the very last, I know you felt bad you had to come out, and Gunnar Tate goes in at quarterback, and you go, what is going on here? And it's too late to have fluids or anything else like that at that point. Luckily, it was a finish-out game, but how special that it all came together on all sides of the ball. We talked about defense, or talked about special teams. You get a kickoff return for a touchdown after they scored. It's tied back up 7-7. Take me through the roller coaster of that game, the ups and downs, and how you saw that as a quarterback.
It meant a lot that my defense and the kickoff return team was doing great because I started the game off rough. I had my head down a little bit, but I had good teammates to pick me up and stuff like that. Quentin Master turning that kickoff return.
Yeah.
And then Gunnar getting the pick. It really turned it over.
Now, is you kind of a leader? Because they say, well, quarterback, you just put it on my shoulders. I got this. I'll take care of it. But you say even you had some down moments and you get that rally from the team. Who do you go to? What kind of a group that helps you get and regain that composure?
Really anybody, I guess. I'd probably say Josh. Josh was the first one to me.
Okay.
Pick me up when I was on the ground on the field.
Okay, all right. So, and talk about this senior class. Some of you guys have been starters for 3 years. It's been a nice run. It's been very fast. But how has it been for you this season?
This season, it's went by real quick. I played in all games. Haven't really taken any injury. But, it just went by too fast.
Okay, and I'll ask what I've asked other guys is what was your best game this year that you thought was your best?
I'll probably say Newcastle.
Really?
Even though it wasn't
I understand.
Our best game, I feel like I had a pretty good game.
No, you had a pretty good game yourself. And then the best moment of this year is what?
I'd probably say at the senior retreat, Coach Holmes' cabin.
Very good. All right, there's a lot of laughs there. Is that something that can go on air, or do I ask you afterwards?
You can ask me after.
Okay, I'll ask you after. Okay, we'll keep it that. You know, it's a family show, right? And it is a family. The whole family's here, and I've seen some people that I haven't seen in a while, and it's good. Recommendation for color commentating, Larry Hatch.
Did a great job.
Yeah.
He's
He's here and supporting, and his wife came, and he jokingly said, I only hit him a few times. I didn't hit him at all. So but it was good for him to come in, and of course his history to the program, knowing what it is, and liking football, and that's been a fun addition too that we're going to be able to close out in. And Avon, I'm going to ask you too, the same as I asked all of your other seniors. You're going to close out, possibly 2 times. You get a win, you're going to come back again on this same field, possibly, unless they move that to Cameron. But how special is it to play on the Hill for this first playoff game?
It really means a lot. It already meant a lot that we were the first team to play on it regular season, but knowing we were the first team to play there in the playoffs and hopefully take a win on it is going to be great.
And Noble, what did you see on them? I know you probably did some film study about what kind of defense, what they're going to kind of bring, what they're going to kind of pressure you. And guess what? You're on film now from here on out. They're going to say, okay, we got edge contained. Quarterback is not going to get outside the edge on us. I mean, that's probably what they're going to rep from here on out. I don't have to say that. That's a coach's thing they're going to say, because you're not that you weren't a surprise before, but you really opened their eyes to what your capabilities are. So what do you think they're going to bring to you to pressure you?
They have a lot of great athletes, but them stopping me from running it to the outside really won't help them too much, because we got Connor and Jaja up the middle, and we still have all of our receivers. So.
Well, you do have a stable of running backs. There's no doubt. I mean, talk about that. They always say the run game opens up the pass. Do you think that's really helped by having, with Connor Claiborne and then Josiah? You got the train, and then you got a freshman Salazar that comes in when he needed to be. You get that established run that opens that up pass.
Yes, sir.
Do you have? You can tell on him now, because I always ask quarterbacks this. In the huddle, there's a play called, and Coach already said we're going to give freedom if you see it. Is there anybody in the huddle or that campaigns to get the ball when that's really not the play, because they're telling you, I can beat my man, just give it to me? You can rat on him. Go ahead.
Josh.
Okay, yeah. All right. I want to make sure. But you want that confidence. Even though he said every play, he says, no, we're going to give it to Connor Claiborne this time. No, I got this. He'll throw it to me. So I rat out receivers because I know what they do. They campaign for that ball. So, okay. And so it's been a great senior year, and best of luck to you this rest of the way.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Avon Lachlan, 3-year starter for the Macarthur Highlanders. We're going to close out with Coach's last comments, because we're going to find out what he thinks is necessary to get a win over the Noble Bears. And we'll be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, we're going to conclude here the coach show, the Macarthur coaches show for a full hour. We had players and offense and defensive coordinators and Coach Manning, of course. You had supper. What did you have?
Yeah. My wife and I shared the spicy chicken sandwich and the Irish nachos.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How were the nachos?
They're good. We had the habanero sausage on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That habanero sausage,
Yeah.
that's my favorite. I think that's and ribs are going to be on the schedule for me tonight. Okay. So we saved the best for last, which is the kind of the culmination of what we have to do for Friday. We already talked about all the success of, and it's like in the rearview mirror. Okay, that win's great. You enjoyed it. It's back to work. 2 days this week kind of off kilter because, you've had this before. We had fall break. We had other stuff. We had a week off, a bye week. But you had yesterday off, Veterans Day today. We salute our veterans for all of those who have served and are serving. Our heartfelt thank yous go out to our veterans, especially with the 13 schools we've got. We've got a lot of representation with military. Altus with their Air Force Base, Middell and their Air Force Base, and then of course the Army base here at Fort Sill. So we appreciate that. But
and veterans get in free.
Yes. Oh, that's right. I
game.
forgot. OSSAA has done that. If you're a veteran, you get in free for the game Friday. So pack the house. Bring a veteran if you want to. It won't cost them anything. But, you go on to this game. You broke it down, but you had 2 days that you had to practice in the morning. Yeah. Because of the time off, and you preferred to do that. Some say, well, let's keep it in the afternoon. But what did you see from Noble that you really got to zone in for Friday?
Well, Noble's they're a very capable team. I've known their coach for a long time. He's a good coach, does a good job, and they've done different things in order to win games. They've spread it out, thrown it a lot. They also have lined up in 2 tight end stuff and really run the ball. It's just they get a good game plan based on what they think they can do against an opponent. So they're a very capable team, and we're going to have to play well.
And, again, not only the veterans get in free, but, I've asked all the players, I've asked most of the coaches, you grew up in this, kind of in that program you were the trivia question. Did you know that you were the trivia question and how Larry Hatch got that?
I think I gave him the trivia question.
I did not know that. Okay, so
Yeah.
in case you missed it, the trivia question was the last time Macarthur played Bishop McGuinness.
At McGuinness.
Yeah. Was your dad's first year of coaching in 1992. 93. And you were a sophomore playing your first game. So I said, wow, that was the last, and you won, but it was a close game, and it was cold as all get out.
Cold and windy, and I remember throwing a horrible, horrible pass that one of my receivers was so bad he had to stop going downfield and run backwards to catch it. But he caught it and then turned it up, and we were able to score.
Oh, okay,
so,
all right.
Won the game on one of the worst passes.
Worst
I've
passes,
ever
all right. Well, at least you started out that way. You didn't end that way, but ending out, the kids are thrilled. The program's thrilled. I don't even know how you guys made the decision to say. I just assumed as a broadcaster, I said, well, we're back at Cameron Stadium, and then I get a notification the next day. Said, we're playing at the Hill. So how did that go about, and you guys getting prepared? I know they've had 2 kind of days or 2 experiences to work with, as far as the gates, the parking, and they felt comfortable enough to have a playoff game there.
Yeah, and everybody at LPS just loves the fact that we have these facilities and that we're playing games there. And when I asked about the possibility of playing at home, I was met with a whole bunch of yeses. Let's do it. And so it wasn't hard at all to get it done. All
right. Well, good luck to you on Friday, and hopefully, if a win, we're going to be back here next Tuesday to talk all about that in next week. How about that?
I'm ready to do it.
Okay, that's the plan. Okay, we're going to wrap things up at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. I want to thank our players, our coordinators, our coaches, all for coming. I want to thank the Macarthur faithful, who's always here, always in the stands, have been here from the very beginning, and we appreciate that as well. We're going to close out with the Macarthur hype video that has not been seen before. Only Coach and I have seen that. We'll debut that here on the Coaches Show, so you can enjoy that, and hopefully be back next week here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery for the Macarthur Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
6 minutes, all Yaris fans came out there.